Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ's live recap of Monday Night Raw for June 3rd, 2019. We have the Super Showdown coming up this Friday, and the big tease for this show, actually there were two things that were hyped up. One was an appearance from The Undertaker. What would The Undertaker say? Also, WWE was teasing that Brock Lesnar would cash in his Money in the Bank contract on this show. Now, I did a poll on NoDQ's Twitter asking people, do they actually think that Brock Lesnar will cash in Money in the Bank? Poll results, 91% said no. Did Brock Lesnar cash in Money in the Bank? Just like WWE, I'm going to make you wait to find out and hook those viewers. So you could just be in the chat room and spoil it or read a spoiler, but I'm not going to say anything until the actual segment. So let's go ahead and get started with this review. And yes, I don't have my usual setup here because last week things got a little crazy. For those of you that missed last week's NoDQ recap, my office basically got destroyed and it's still in repair as we speak. All right, so Monday Night Raw kicked off with who else? The big dog, Roman Reigns from SmackDown, wild card rule and all. I guess Roman Reigns is just going to be on Raw every single week now. It's the Roman card rule. It's not the wild card rule. Let's be real here. It's designed to get Roman on Raw every single week. It is what it is, as I like to say. Before Roman could even speak, we had Shane McMahon, the best in the world, come out and said that at the Super Showdown, he is going to smash Roman's jaw with a coast-to-coast. Power Packers 90 with the first Super Chat of the evening, $1. Thank you for that. He had no comment, though, but I appreciate your support, Power Packers. Shane McMahon talked about how perhaps he'll tap out Roman Reigns, and then Drew McIntyre came out and said that he is going to beat Roman at Stomping Grounds. So apparently, we're getting this match again. Even though Roman already beat Drew at WrestleMania and they had a rematch last week or 2 weeks ago or sometime recently, we're getting this match again at Stomping Grounds. Boy, oh boy, I'm so excited for that. Stomping Grounds, the big dog, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre again. Just cuz. Caleb Jacobs with a $6 Super Chat. Thank you, Caleb. He says, save us Triple H, Roman card rule means success for AEW. You know who it means success for? John Moxley. And Power Packers 90 with another $1 Super Chat. Thank you for that. I feel like, first of all, I feel like the pay-per-view name is terrible. And John Moxley, if you guys haven't heard his podcast interviews, go check them out. The Chris Jericho one and the Wade Keller ones. Great stuff. And John Moxley talked about how, in his opinion, one thing WWE could do is stop doing repeat matches. Maybe change things up. Cycle guys in and out. Give guys a week off to heal their bodies, so they're not wrestling 24/7. And he talked about like how on Mondays, the guys are all beat up because they've been working the house shows over the weekend. And it's the last show of the cycle. So Moxley's saying it. He's saying, let these guys do some different matches, get some different people in there, and stop repeating the same match over and over again. For crying out loud. Moxley talks so much sense. I love those interviews. Go check them out. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 Super Chat says, Chris Lee knows best is more over than Undertaker. Well, apparently the dead man doesn't have power over Chris Lee. The spirit of the Undertaker, the mystical powers that he has, was not enough to keep him on the air so he could finish his promo. Yikes. Hank Schrader on the shitter, my favorite username with a $2 Super Chat, says, awful show number 5,765. Friday is Sweet Saudi Money Part 3. Or Blood Money Part 2. Or Blood Money Part 3. Whatever you want to refer it as. I'm not negative. I'm in a good mood tonight. I'm feeling great. Life is well. And I'm not going to let Raw bring my mood down. I am on cloud 9, and I'm just going to call this show like I see it, but I'm going to have a positive attitude about it. All right. So back to the Drew McIntyre segment. Drew McIntyre said, why not wait until the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view or Stomping Grounds? Let's just beat up Roman Reigns right now. And that's when the Revival attacked Roman Reigns from behind. And, of course, right on cue, out come the Usos. And you know where this is going, players. You know we're getting a tag team match, which I gotta say, hey, WWE changed things up. Instead of making the tag team match during the commercial break, Michael Cole said the match was already made earlier in the night. So they're good to go. There you go. WWE creatively shaking things up by changing the format of the tag match setup. There you go. The upswing is here. So we had the 6-man tag team match. Shane McMahon interfered as expected, and then Reigns went after Shane, and then Reigns got the Claymore from Drew McIntyre. Jey Uso or Jimmy Uso, one of them, got the Shatter Machine on the outside by the Revival, and then Drew McIntyre hit the Claymore on the other Uso in the ring to score the pinfall victory. And then afterwards, Shane McMahon, the best in the world, hit Roman Reigns with a spear. Ooh, ah. No DQ Soldier with a $5 super chat says, Aaron, you seem very angry, little dude. This would never happen in TNA. Who is that on your t-shirt? Well, this is Mark Henry right here on my t-shirt, just so you know. And Mike B with a $5 super chat says, the Roman card, oh shit, I mean the wild card rule, is about as meaningful as the brand split. How about that 24/7 title? I mean, it's tough to say which of those is the most meaningful at this point. I will say at least the 24/7 rule has been somewhat entertaining up to this point. And Jeff Meacham is here. Shout out to good old JM Jeff Meacham. John, am glad I skipped Raw with a $1 super chat. Thank you for that. And I just wanted to give a shout out to all my wonderful peeps in the chat watching this right now. And a shout out to everyone watching on demand. You guys are great as well. So let's move on here. We had Matthew McConaughey and Lance Armstrong. That Lance Armstrong, interestingly enough, with his background and the background of WWE superstars over the years, they were at ringside. And then we had Miz TV. Miz was looking quite good in his outfit. He introduced Seth Rollins as his guest. Seth vowed that he will defend his Universal Championship against Baron Corbin at Super Showdown, and he promised to be a fighting champion. We had a limousine pull up. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman came out, and they acted like they were going to go to the ring, but then they took a little turn and went down the hallway instead. So they were basically making Seth wait. And all of us sitting at home are like, they're just going to delay this and then still not deliver. So we just have to sit through more of this. Pretty much how that went down. We had the Lucha Party come out for apparently a match, but then Lars Sullivan came out and tried to beat them up, but he actually got taken out. The three of them did a triple drop kick, sent him to the outside, and he just stood there like an idiot, and it went to the next segment. So, yeah, I'm a little surprised Lars Sullivan is, I guess you got to get some momentum for the Lucha House Party before they inevitably get demolished by Lars Sullivan. Whatever, I suppose. We had Becky Lynch come out for a promo, which I thought was good, but not really a very memorable promo. Let's just put it that way. She talked about how she finally got a break after her WrestleMania victory and got a chance to reflect on things. And she said that she's never been more content in her life. But the problem with contentment is that it's the worst thing that can happen to a fighter. She vowed to keep fighting. And she said that she will fight until she can no longer fight. This led to Lacey Evans coming out saying that she should be the face of the women's division. And then Becky Lynch made fun of her, said she'll rip her arm off. Lacey said that pretty soon Becky will be Becky No Belts. And then Charlotte came out and told Becky to stop making excuses. Becky said, "Where's your title now?" Charlotte got in the ring and Lacey ended up punching Charlotte, which led to a match. There were "We Want Becky" chants. Becky came in and the match got thrown out. And then Becky took out Lacey Evans for good measure. So there you go. Caleb Jacobs with a $4 super chat says, Jinder is now a former 24/7 champion on Twitter. Well, there you go. Good for him. Jinder Mahal, in case you guys forgot, they did show a recap of it. Jinder Mahal did in fact beat R-Truth for the 24/7 title with his ring gear on a golf course, and everyone, of course, making fun of that. Next up, we had Rey Mysterio footage shown of him giving up the U.S. title. This was the segment here. The footage was shown from the pay-per-view where Samoa Joe was credited as separating Rey Mysterio's shoulder. He said he's been with the WWE for a long time. His son's training to be a wrestler, but now he has to do the right thing, step up as a man and as a champion. And then Samoa Joe came out before Rey could make the announcement, said that Rey never beat him and his shoulders were not down. And Rey talked about how he's won titles before with injuries, and he said that he's going to do the right thing, and he proceeded to relinquish the championship to Samoa Joe. So Samoa Joe apparently can win the title without pinning or submitting somebody. Now, if Jack Tunney was alive, I don't think this would be going down like this. But unfortunately, we're in a different era now. Back in my day, we had it where you had to pin somebody or make them submit. Richard Moman with a $20 super chat says, just showing support, have to go back to work and we'll watch the rest later. Well, thank you for that, Richard. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for that super chat. I really, really, really do thank you for that. And yes, everyone loves the Jack Tunney reference, as do I, of course. So let's see. Samoa Joe, after Rey gave him the title, like a man, Samoa Joe had to do the cowardly thing, and he put poor little Rey Mysterio in the coquina clutch because he's a bastard. Next up, we had the arm wrestling match between Bobby Lashley, Bob the Lash, and Braun Strowman. Now, this went somewhat the way I figured. You know, the cliche thing is with these arm wrestling matches, the heel likes to delay things and do these fake outs. And they did a little bit of a variation of this, like Lashley slapped him, and then after that they tried to get started and Lashley slipped out and had them use the chalk, you know, for the arm wrestling match. Now, what I'm wondering is, why didn't they just put the chalk on to start things off? Why did they do it after Lashley slipped out? Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. But I get why they used the chalk here for the angle they did. Strowman ended up winning the arm wrestling match, and then that's when Lashley took the chalk and threw it into Strowman's eyes, and then Lashley proceeded to use Strowman's own move on him, the power slam. So there you go. Bobby Lashley getting some momentum heading into this upcoming Super Showdown pay-per-view on the WWE Network for just the low, low price of $9.99. Curtis Butler said, blow in the air. Nice. Well played there, Curtis Butler. And the Gameson 100 with a $2 super chat says, it wasn't chalk, it was baby powder. Well, baby powder, chalk, whatever it was. I give them credit. I mean, we haven't seen an arm wrestling contest in a long time, and it was a little bit different than usual. So I didn't mind the segment. I thought it was all right. Next up, we had the footage shown of Jinder Mahal, as I mentioned earlier. Carmella was looking for R-Truth, could not find him. Meanwhile, EC3 and his old buddy from TNA, Rockstar Spud, now known as Drake Maverick, were following Carmella, hoping wherever Carmella goes is where R-Truth is. And you can actually see Casey's tail in the background. Nice. Next up, we had Nicki Cross versus Peyton Royce. Alexa Bliss brought out her coffee, which is her new gimmick. She even has a t-shirt for it. And then that's when Peyton Royce kicked the coffee out of Alexa's hand. You don't do that. That is like the cardinal sin. You do not mess with Alexa Bliss's coffee. You're in trouble if you do that. And Alexa was irate. There was this huge distraction, and that led to Nicki Cross hitting her neck breaker to pick up the victory. And then Bliss just went crazy. You know, like I said, it's all over when you spill her coffee. Alexa drop kicked Billy and then hit her with a DDT. So there you go. Alexa Bliss doing a little bit of physicality here, and maybe that's a good sign for her getting back in the ring soon. Until hopefully the next injury doesn't happen, but could very well be a case where she just keeps getting injured. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully she's going to be back, and she'll be back for a while. Seth Rollins came out, and he started to cut this promo, and that's when Brock Lesnar's music hit. No Brock Lesnar. The This Guy Experience left a $2 super chat, says, "Oh God, Bob and Braun will be Bar 2.0 in a few months." I hope not. That would not be the best idea, in my opinion. But then again, this is WWE we're talking about, so anything's possible. We had Seth Rollins start to cut a promo, and that's when Brock Lesnar's music hit. Didn't come out. Rollins was like, if you have any shred of the beast left, you come out here, cash in your contract. Tony H with the $2 super chat says, Brock will beat Kofi on Friday. Book it. I like that idea, and I'll get to that more here in a minute. Thank you, Tony H. We had Baron Corbin come out and said that Rollins needs to worry about him and not Brock Lesnar, since Rollins and Corbin are scheduled to face off at Super Showdown. Corbin said he's the Dream Crusher. Rollins said Corbin will have to pry it from his cold, dead hands, and Corbin reminded everybody that he did, in fact, retire Kurt Angle, and has no problems retiring Rollins as well. Lesnar's music hit again, and Corbin used this opportunity to hit the End of Days to Rollins. And then Brock Lesnar's music hit a third time. This time he actually comes out. He hits a low blow on Seth Rollins, beats the crap out of him with a steel chair. Paul Heyman screaming at him to cash in. Now's the time. And then Lesnar's just not even paying attention to Heyman. He goes out there, F5 on the floor. Heyman keeps yelling, now, now, now. And Lesnar's like, not yet. He hit more chair shots. Heyman again pleads with Lesnar to cash in. And then Lesnar's like, Friday. And then he proceeded to go to Suplex City and then attacked Rollins even more with the chair. So there you go. I guess Brock Lesnar's cashing in at Super Showdown. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just another smokescreen. Maybe it's just another gimmick. Or maybe, as Tony H puts it, he's not cashing in on Rollins. He wants you to think he's cashing in on Rollins, and he's going to go for Kofi instead. So that's an interesting idea, and I like it. I think it's interesting. Change things up a little bit. Get Lesnar on SmackDown, especially with the Fox deal. Makes sense to me. So yeah, maybe that's what this is going to be. He just wanted to beat up Seth Rollins to get payback from WrestleMania, but he's going to swerve everybody and go for Kofi instead. Ryan King with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Ryan King. I appreciate it. He says, Raw was just about as cringe tonight as it was last week. Can't wait for AEW to debut on TNT. Well, thank you for that, Ryan King. I do appreciate that super chat. By the way, Seth Rollins was stretchered out. Oh, there's Casey. Hey. Cameo time. Hi, everybody. Casey's here to say hi. Making a cameo on video and getting his fur on this couch. Good job. So we had Seth Rollins actually taken out in an ambulance, so he's not quite as tough as Kofi Kingston, although, to be fair, it was a Dolph Ziggler beatdown to Kofi and a Brock Lesnar beatdown to Seth Rollins. So, you know, it is what it is. Let's be real here. Oh, he wants to be on video tonight. Isn't he sweet? Casey is more over than the WWE stars. Everyone's saying hi. Wait a minute. One more cameo. Why not? Say hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Go check out his videos at youtube.com/AaronRift, which is my personal channel, and I got a bunch of cat videos on there. Some of them have millions of hits, and remember, that's how I got the 100,000 subscribers and got that plaque because of this guy. So I thank this guy and his sister for that. All right. Where is Sassy? She's around here somewhere, just chilling. One more thing I wanted to add about the Seth Rollins thing. We had Becky Lynch, who, of course, is dating Seth Rollins in real life. She was escorting him in the ambulance to the local medical facility because, as we all know, it's not an actual hospital. Did I miss something here? I thought I missed something. I guess I didn't. Okay, so next up we had the Bray Wyatt Firefly segment, the latest edition of the Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt, this was a different one, and I really enjoyed this one a lot, just because it was so off the wall. Bray said he had something super serious to talk about, exercise. And he introduced Huskus, which I guess is a reference to Husky Harris. Huskus the pig. And then we had a music video. Well, first, before the music video got started, we had the Devil, which was basically Vince McMahon, a Vince McMahon puppet, came in. And then we had this music video, the Muscle Man Dance. This was seriously the best part of Raw. This was fantastic. I was very entertained by this. I was just like, wow, this is creative. This is good stuff. I'm enjoying it. And it's a nice little change of pace. You know, they did the really creepy segment a couple weeks ago, and now you're just like, what the hell is going on here? But yeah, I really did enjoy this segment a lot. And I wonder, you know, if Bray Wyatt's got a lot of control over this and he's able to let his creative juices flow, regardless of whoever's coming up with this, it's good stuff here. Or as Vince would say, it's some good shit. Then we had the Triple H Randy Orton face-to-face, and, you know, I don't think this was really necessary, but I guess they needed to do something. And, yeah, they were trying, but I'm still not really feeling the match, quite frankly. They talked about, you know, Triple H saying that there's nothing that hasn't really been said already, and he doesn't want to waste people's time. And then he proceeds to waste like 10 minutes of people's time. Very funny, Triple H. He said, don't let the suit fool you. He's going to whoop Randy Orton's ass. Orton reminded Triple H that he's not, in fact, Batista. He's the legend killer. And Triple H said, yeah, you're one of the best ever. But a lot have tried to put Triple H down, and Orton isn't the one. Then Triple H started to leave, and that's when Randy Orton, with the insult of insults, you know, whenever you got to make it personal, you got to bring up the family. Randy Orton says that Triple H will need to retrieve his balls from Stephanie's purse, to which Triple H responded by saying he will do just that. And he said that his balls are so big, it's a burden to carry around, and that's why they're in Stephanie's purse. And then he said, Orton would never know about this because Orton doesn't have any balls. And then he threw the mic in Orton's face and took off. And now the cat's in the litter box, of course. Always using the litter box while I'm recording a live stream, and he just is very loud. Good job, cat. So then we had Ricochet versus Cesaro. This was the rubber match between these two. Another good match between these guys. But again, to go back to what Jon Moxley said during his interview, why do we need these rematches every single week? Why not cycle these guys in and out, get some fresh people, and, you know, let Cesaro and Ricochet have the night off to heal a little bit, take some time off. Like, I like Moxley's idea. I know, like, he brought up, like, how they want to keep the storylines going. But, I mean, what storyline is here? They're just doing the same match every week. Tony H with a $2 super chat says, the Triple H pointless rematches returns Friday. Yeah, pretty much. Triple H has to have a rematch with every guy he faced 15 years ago, apparently. 10, 15 years ago. What did Jeff Meacham say that was savage? Oh, Cat is pooping on Raw like the rest of us. I like it, JM. My favorite line of the night here. So anyways, Ricochet pulled off the victory over Cesaro, and then afterwards, Cesaro attacked Ricochet and then went to pull a ladder from under the ring, and then he pulled a table from under the ring, only the table had R-Truth on it. So R-Truth was hiding under the ring on a table all night long, and then everybody ran out to try to get him. Cedric Alexander did a big splash to everybody, and then R-Truth ended up back in the ring. Drake Maverick confronted him, but then Carmella super kicked Drake Maverick. The wanted papers went everywhere, and then R-Truth and Carmella fled the scene. So still 24/7 champion, everyone's favorite R-Truth. And to close the show, we had the Undertaker promo to hype up his match with Goldberg. Good old Whisker Biscuit this Friday. Goldberg's going to be on SmackDown, by the way. So tomorrow night I'll be back for another live recap. We'll talk about Goldberg. We'll get some thoughts. And then, of course, predictions coming up for the video. And another quick plug here. If you guys haven't been watching the videos yet, I've been doing these top 5 videos. 3 of them are up now on the channel. So check them out if you haven't already. I mean, I've gotten great reviews for them. 0 dislikes on one of them, which means one of you trolls out there is just going to go on that video and dislike it just for the sake of it. So you might as well just go do it now. Just get me the view. Go over there, click dislike. Do whatever you're going to do. Just check out the video. So anyways, Undertaker talked about how like people face death for the first time, and he brought up Goldberg since Goldberg's facing death for the first time, and said that he doesn't want the family man Goldberg with his wife and kid at the show. He wants the unstoppable icon. And Undertaker warned Goldberg, if you don't bring your very best, it will be your final match. And then he said he will claim his soul, and then pretty much the show cut off. Goldberg was referenced by Undertaker with the line, Goldberg's classic line, "You're next." But I didn't even hear that part. Like, I heard Undertaker say he's going to claim his soul, and then we got to Chris Lee Knows Best, and it just cut off. And that was Raw. So yeah, Chris Lee interrupting the Undertaker, the audacity of that man. The This Guy Experience with a $2 super chat says, when is Carmella going to turn on R-Truth for that belt? Maybe WWE's just milking it and is going to wait a little while. Maybe they're actually being patient and they're not going to blow their load. And a lot of people are wondering about that. And Virtue's like, his wife and kid in Saudi Arabia? Ha ha ha, I don't think so. We'll see. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be there, but, you know, anything's possible. Chris May says they cut off The Undertaker. They sure did. Jeff Meacham says, I saw your next line and we both use sling. Well, there you go. Maybe I just got cut off prematurely. Caleb Jacobs with another $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Caleb. He says, I apologize if I stole your thunder from the last super chat with Jinder. Not a problem, Caleb, and I really do appreciate your viewership. And again, it was a pleasure meeting you at the Oregon Zoo a couple weeks back. Power Packers 90 with a $2 super chat says, I wonder if USA pulled the plug because the show sucks. Yeah, that's quite possible. I mean, I didn't think this was bad as last week. I'm going to give this Raw a C-. You know, it was pretty average, but I really enjoyed Bray's segment, and, you know, a couple of the promos were decent. Still don't really care about Super Showdown, which, you know, the goal of the show should be for me to care about the show. You know, another bait and switch with Brock Lesnar. So, yeah, C-, and I think I'm being generous. Noah gives it a D, so the glasses must have been off most of the time. Curtis Butler with a C, Zach with a C, Chris Mace with a C. Jeff also says C-. Dale with a C-, Corey Hall with a C, Michael Heiss with a C, Kanan Knight with a D-, and Aaron Anderson with an F. Power Packers 90 with a D+, and Bradley with a C+, and Garrett Mills feeling generous with a B. So, yeah, pretty low grades for this week's Raw, but yeah, I do think it was at least a little bit better than last week. I mean, let's put it this way. I'm not here going crazy at the end of this video like last week. But again, that's not just because the show was a little better, but also because I'm feeling the positive energy. Life is good. Life has never been better, actually. And I'm just not going to let wrestling get me angry. I'm happy. Everything's wonderful. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate your viewership and support. Please spread the word. Subscribe, tell a friend, do whatever you can. Any little bit helps. So if you just tell one person you know, hey, check out Aaron Riff's channel, good stuff, it helps. Word of mouth really goes a long way. So whatever you guys can do, I appreciate it very much. I will be back tomorrow night, and we'll talk